this is looking to be a very explosive fight. One that you definitely don't want to miss out on.
So what would the result be?
The prediction is will not last 12 rounds, I think.
That's a nice one. Thank you. He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely.
Manny Pacquiao, a legendary boxer, shocked everyone in the room with a shocking reveal at his first news conference for his next fight. He was going to be fighting Mario Barrios, an 8-division world champion known for being lightning fast and always being humble. He lost his normally calm demeanor and stepped into the stage, where he gave a harsh warning as cameras flashed and tensions rose. It was clear to Pacquiao that this fight is about more than just business, it's personal. The mood is set, and Pacquiao's energy has shown Barrios that he was wrong to think that he was facing an old legend.
Okay, how's it going?
All right, good.
All right, so
Good,
for a long time we talked about Manny Pacquiao coming back to us, and for a long time we talked about him fighting. Now it's real, it's happening. Him and Mario Barrios, break it down.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight.
WBC champion.
Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. It's like a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
We'll shock the world, but if he wins at his age, yeah, I mean, but it's not. Listen, he's 45, 46.
Are you leaving jail?
45, 46, but he's not. He's always active. He's always staying active. He's always doing something. Mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport. I mean, cardio. So not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, "I'm not surprised." So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win.
Diaz beat. I mean, different Diaz. I like Diaz.
A lot of people are interested in Manny Pacquiao's return to boxing after 4 years away, especially after his dramatic news conference, where he gave WBC welterweight king Mario Barrios a strong warning. The 46-year-old boxing legend, noted for his speed and power, will meet 29-year-old Barrios on July 19, 2025, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
It's a very contentious subject, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Ben maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why we pushed the Conor Ben fight. Conor Ben, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up. People were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Ben is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Pacquiao has started training again with his longtime coach Freddie Roach. Even though there are concerns about his age and the length of time he has been away from professional fighting, during training, Pacquiao has shown signs of being the man he used to be. But some fans and experts aren't sure if he can return to the top level of competition after a long break. In new video from Los Angeles, Pacquiao can be seen talking quietly but firmly, he talked about the responsibility of being a role model and the value of learning from past mistakes. His tone was serious but upbeat, and he looked away prepared. During training, he hits the pads quickly and moves smoothly. He is getting ready for his fight with Barrios with all the zeal of a young fighter out for payback. However, the move to sanction the fight was not without controversy. Critics claim that Pacquiao's age and recent inactivity should have disqualified him from a title chance. Pacquiao's WBC ranking of 5th in the welterweight class has also sparked debate, with some questioning the ranking's credibility and the possible risks of the fight.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a shock return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's, that guy's my hero, you know, I named my dog after him and stuff like that, you know, stuff, but he's touching 50 years old. I think, you know, he should leave it where it is, you know, but, you know, obviously, if you get a chance to share a ring with Manny Pacquiao, nobody's going to say no, you know?
Trainer Greg Hackett spoke frankly about Manny Pacquiao's surprising comeback match against Mario Barrios. Hackett claimed that if this fight had taken place years ago, Pacquiao would have easily defeated Barrios. Nevertheless, times have changed. According to Hackett, Pacquiao's present form is considerably different from the explosive, dynamic boxer who formerly dominated the sport. At 45, the Filipino icon cannot be expected to display the same speed, stamina, or ruthless edge that made him a legend. According to Hackett, the fight is more of a money grab than a true battle between great athletes in their prime. He sees it as a spectacle rather than a meeting of equals.
Hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might try and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like on. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he could make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans want to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Manny Pacquiao has a diehard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boots, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but you want to steal as much as you can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So we want to make some money, and we want to do great things.
Former champion Timothy Bradley had similar worries, saying that the battle is more about money and boxing glory. According to Bradley, when a fighter comes out of retirement, it shows a need for a paycheck. In his opinion, the WBC title is on the line, but the main motivation is the money. Barrios, a younger and more energetic opponent, is being positioned as the new face to test Pacquiao's limits. Bradley went so far as to suggest that Barrios has the youth momentum and skill to perhaps finish Pacquiao, raising the question of whether the legend should even be in the ring.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
Oscar de la Hoya, on the other side, has voiced his support for Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring, expressing faith in the renowned boxer despite his age while admitting Pacquiao's current age of mid-40s. De la Hoya thinks the Filipino hero still has the spirit, determination, and skill to compete against younger opponents such as Mario Barrios. He praises Pacquiao's illustrious career and thinks that a boxer with so much experience should never be underestimated. For De La Hoya, the focus is not on Pacquiao's age, but on what he still has to give.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs.
He's a legend, you know.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Despite the criticism, Mario Barrios stays composed and assured. Speaking pre of the fight, Barrios stated that he respects Pacquiao but is not afraid. He aims to stick to his game plan and exploit his youth and reach advantage to keep the pressure on. Barrios isn't looking at this as a paycheck. He sees it as the biggest opportunity of his career, with the ability to add Pacquiao's name to his resume.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It shows that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just shows you that, he is a great fighter, but, I'm going into this camp, into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan. And I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Boxing commentator Teddy Atlas has questioned Mario Barrios' claimed size advantage in his fight against Manny Pacquiao. While Barrios is taller and has a longer reach, Atlas questions the veracity of this advantage, noting that he moved to the welterweight bracket after fighting in lower weight classes. Barrios admitted that hitting the 140-pound limit had become increasingly difficult, necessitating his shift to welterweight despite his athletic talents. Atlas believes that Barrios' bulk may not convert into a big advantage in the ring. This viewpoint means that the matchup may be more well-balanced than others believe, potentially providing a more challenging encounter between the experienced Pacquiao and the youthful Barrios. The news of Pacquiao's return sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Many fans are still processing the news, as Pacquiao stopped in 2021 and has been quiet since.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God, I don't even know when he first turned pro. You would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean he was
108 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. Look what he did to this horse. But look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people. One of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active. Who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit than when Pacquiao fought him, and maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight.
Mauricio Sulaiman, head of the World Boxing Council, stated that Pacquiao has received the necessary rights to compete for the welterweight title. There is talk that Manny Pacquiao may use the Barrios fight as a stepping stone. Many reports say that if Pacquiao defeats Barrios, it will pave the way for a major fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. Davis fans and commentators alike are wondering if Barrios was chosen because he is a more controllable opponent, allowing Pacquiao to build momentum and generate interest for what could be his final big fight. The idea is that this fight may not be the final test, but rather a calculated effort to set the setting for a high-profile, career-defining confrontation with Davis.
The WBC president Mauricio Sulaiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, who's the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion. So who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
If Pacquiao beats Barrios, his fight with Gervonta Davis could become one of the most awaited in recent history. 2 explosive southpaws, both with big fan following, meeting off would draw global attention. Pacquiao's return to the ring evokes a strong sense of longing. He's after the same WBC title that catalyzed his climb to world prominence years ago. He won his first world title at flyweight back then, and now he hopes to finish his career as the WBC welterweight champion. Pacquiao has come full circle in a way that goes beyond just chasing another title. This fight seems personal. It's more than just heritage. It's about reconnecting with where it all started. The reason for this return appears to be as much emotional and reflective as it is competitive.
Boxing Doctor News told Onto Your Gloves boxing fans, the rumors are true. Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring. At 46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker. Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. So will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? Get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of your seat.
Fans and observers see comparisons between Pacquiao and George Foreman, who famously reclaimed a world title at the age of 46. It is an unusual feat in boxing history, but not impossible. Many believe that if Foreman can accomplish it, Pacquiao, with his unwavering energy and legendary status, will be able to repeat it. The fight has taken on the theme of overcoming age and expectations.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. You know, Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anto first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. You know, I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old. And not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. You know, if there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. You know, Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
Manny Pacquiao's return has sparked excitement and controversy in the boxing world at 46. Pacquiao is returning to the ring after a 4-year layoff, hoping to reclaim the title that started his legendary career. This fight puts Pacquiao's expertise against Barrios' youth, raising questions about legacy, motivation, and the sport's ever-changing dynamics.
Mentioned a lot of people are asking what's going on. Are the rumors true? Is it possibly Spence? Is it Pacquiao? You know, who is Mario Barrios sharing the ring with next?
You know what? He's put himself in a great position through hard work. You know, he's a tremendous story when he turned pro and what he's been able to accomplish being a 2-time world champion. And I always told everybody, you know, he fights all comers. You know, when we fought Gervonta Davis, all my hats off to Gervonta Davis. You know, but it was very difficult for us to make the weight. We were going to move up in weight. They presented us, you know, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll bite down for it one more time. And then from there, you know, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-ups, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Batirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's, you know, Pacquiao, Spence, if that's you know, a unification with Boots, Ennis.
Do you feel Pacquiao's confidence will lead to victory, or do you think Barrios will successfully protect his title? Please share your thoughts and join the chat below.